Hey everyone, Miss Floric here. Today we are going to be talking about your summer reading project. For the summer, you were supposed to pick a story that you wanted to read. Some of you picked a fictional story, some of you picked a nonfiction story. And what we're going to do with this now is you are going to be making a project through using Google Slides over this book. So, what I want us to do is one, make sure that book's read and we know what's happening in that book. But you are going to access a document, which I'll show you on this video in a minute here, that's going to give you step by step what you need to do. Now, it's going to be a little bit different depending on if you chose nonfiction or fiction. So sometimes you might see in the description that it'll say, all right, here's what you do if you have a nonfiction book. Here's what you do if you have a fictional book. We're going to be working on these presentations and these projects for 2 weeks. So the first week is going to be a lot of me going through the expectations. We're also going to do some mini lessons. So for example, this project is going to focus a lot around themes, some symbolism, some character development. So we're going to be reviewing those skills, talking about how to figure out theme in your novel or your nonfiction piece. And then you're going to actually start more of the creative process and the creating of your project the second week. We're going to begin a few of the steps this week and then really get into finalizing and finishing those projects next week. All right, so here, go ahead and you can access this document on Buzz. I'm going to show you the project requirements right now. So here's the document that I was talking about. It's called Pre-AP Summer Reading Book Project. And as I had mentioned, you're going to be creating a Google presentation with different sections. Now, obviously you want your presentation to stand out a little bit, add a little pizzazz. So feel free to change the background. You can change font color when necessary, make it creative. Don't just do random things. Try to make it look nice and presentable. So the first section that we're going to be working on is going to be the title slide. Pretty easy. All you need to do is include the author of the book and then make sure the author of the book, the title, and then make sure you put your name at the very bottom as well. Obviously, it's going to be one slide. You should be able to fit all of that. Feel free to make it look eye-catching and eye-popping and appealing for us. All right, so section 2, first sentence. What you're going to do here is, in a visually appealing way, you are going to take the first sentence of your book and make that into a slide. Now, here are the directions. It says, in a visually appealing way, present just the first sentence of your book. Think about the core ideas and symbols you found while reading and visually incorporate them into this slide. So you've probably talked about symbolism in your classes so far. So think of things that might be symbolic of the book or symbolic of that first sentence. So for instance, if I read on the come up, let's go ahead and check out to see what the first sentence is. Page 1. I might have to kill somebody tonight. Whew, quite a way to start a book, but you would then take that sentence, put only that sentence on the slide, and try to come up with symbols that tie into that sentence. Now, it literally doesn't have to be exactly that sentence. So I don't need you to find a picture of murder if you say read this book, right? And then just put that in the first slide. Try to be creative. Try to think of things that are symbolic of your book and specifically symbolic of that first sentence. So this slide takes a little bit more creativity than the first slide. All right, and then the last section is going to be section 3. I'm not going to get too much into this section today. I just want to point out how it's divided differently depending on what type of book you read. So we're going to be doing a lesson later in the week that covers theme and how to figure out the theme. So if you say read a fiction, a fictional story, what you're going to do is you're going to determine the theme, which is a new idea that the text is supporting, but it's not directly stated. So it's some sort of big idea, some sort of truth about the real world, about society. If you read a nonfiction, that's going to be slightly different, so that you're going to state the main argument or the main idea that the author believes in the text. So I just wanted to show you here how that's going to break down if you read a fictional story versus a nonfiction. Don't worry about starting section 3 just yet. That's going to be later in the week after we go through a theme lesson. All right, so that's that as far as the project goes so far. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Remember, we're trying to get slides 1 and slides 2 done on this first day, and then we'll work through the other slides later on. Please try not to work too much ahead. The purpose of us doing mini lessons on this is we're going to talk through how to come up with theme and how to work through some of these sections. So you're going to want to wait until we do those lessons to get started to make sure we're doing those correctly. All right, so get 1 and 2 done, and then I will see you later in the week. Bye.